Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Plastic and Hand Surgery by Dr. Nurunnahar Lata. I am a plastic surgeon working as Assistant Professor of Plastic Surgery in National Institute of Burn and Plastic Surgery, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Our today's topic: high voltage electric burn injury. High voltage electric burn is the most devastating burn injury. It causes extensive tissue destruction and necrosis, with high mortality and morbidity. Male are affected more than the female. Children are also affected at home, usually while playing in rooftop and balcony. With rapid development of the country and unplanned and unsafe urbanization, incidence of high voltage electric burn increases drastically. Severity depends on resistance of the tissue, voltage, and duration of contact. Here, electrical energy is converted into heat, causing tissue damage. The greater the resistance of a tissue, the greater the potential for transformation of electrical energy to heat. Electrical current passes along the neurovascular bundle, so extent of injury is always severe than what we see from outside. It is just like the tip of iceberg. In our hospital, almost one-third of hospital admission with burn is due to high voltage electric burn. Construction worker and electric power crew are more vulnerable to injury. And upper limb is involved in most of the cases. Types of high voltage electric burn. Low voltage, here less than 1000 volt, usually domestic accident. High voltage, more than 1000 volt, occurs at workplace. And third one, lightning injury, here up to 2 billion volt, direct contact. Low voltage electric burn injury usually occur at home. Malfunctioning electric kettle, iron, etc. Children are more affected, with significant local wound. Usually no deep wound, so we can manage easily. Construction site worker, power company crew are more vulnerable to high voltage electric burn injury. Here, damage to the vessel, tendon, muscle and nerve occur, and injury is like just of the tip of the iceberg. Deep muscle involvement are more, and patient may come with complication like myoglobinuria and compartment syndrome, and also they need amputation and flap coverage and tendon and nerve reconstruction also needed. In high voltage electric burn injury, there is entry wound and exit wound. Entry wound, here what happened? Resistance offered by the skin generates enormous heat. So, the skin is carbonized and thus the entry wound appear charred or whitish yellow or leathery appearance. And exit wound, usually in the lower lip or opposite hand, may be multiple and appeared as tanned black. Now, how we manage the patient at the site? First, electrical supply should be switched off. Should not touch the patient until by means of dry wooden or insulated pole. Don't remove by dragging with bare hand, and must transfer the patient to nearby burn unit or hospital. In the hospital, patient should be managed according to advanced trauma life support protocol we'll look for polytrauma, cervical spine should be protected, and respiratory and cardiac arrest are common, so ECG must. And here, fluid requirement is more than usual. Patient may present with myoglobinuria, that is presence of pigment in the urine due to significant muscle damage. How will manage? First catheterization, and then fluid must be increased than usual. And if not maintained by infusion, then we can administer mannitol. Alkalinization of the urine may help. And finally, if refractory, then dialysis may need it. Another complication is compartment syndrome. It is an increase in interstitial fluid pressure within an osteophyseal compartment of significant magnitude to cause the compromise of microcirculation leading to necrosis. Here, pain is disproportionate to the injury, and pain is more on passive flexion and extension. Limb is palpably swollen and tense. Pulselessness is a late sign, and presence of pulse does not rule out compartment syndrome. And pressure more than 30 mm mercury, indication of fasciotomy. And for compartment syndrome, fasciotomy is a must. And we should do fasciotomy if we have suspicion for compartment syndrome. Now comes the difference between fasciotomy and ischiotomy. Fasciotomy usually we did in case of high voltage electric burn injury, and ischiotomy in case of deep burn, that is flame burn. In fasciotomy, it is a limb saving procedure to treat compartment syndrome. Fascia is cut to relieve compartment pressure. Here, all fascial compartment should be released to release the intracompartmental pressure, and neurovascular structure must be preserved. On the other hand, in ischiotomy, ischar, a thick coagulated crust that develops following full thickness circumferential burn. It acts as a tourniquet leading to the vascular compromise. And what we do in ischiotomy? We give a incision on the ischar for decompressing the constricting effect caused by the deep circumferential burn. If we not do so, it may also compromise the circulation. In our clinical practice, we usually get following type of high voltage electric burn injury. Electric flash burn. It is superficial and superficial partial thickness. Deep contact burn. Deep partial thickness burn or deep burn. Third one, full thickness circumferential burn. Here, loss of tendon, nerve, with or without development of compartment syndrome. And third one, charred limb. This is most severe. Electric flash burn usually involved face and upper limb. It is superficial or superficial partial thickness and managed conservatively, and usually wound is healed by 4 to 6 weeks. And contact burn not involving the deeper structure, we did wound excision and split thickness skin graft. If vital structure are exposed, then flap coverage. And in case of flexure surface of the joint, we try to give the flap. If not possible, then transversely placed sheet graft may work. Deep burn with impending compartment syndrome, first we go for fasciotomy. If limb is salvageable, then we do wound excision and flap coverage. And for the fasciotomy wound, one side is directly closed, but other side may need split thickness skin grafting. Many patients present with damage to multiple tendon and nerve and require reconstruction. Initially, we do wound excision and then coverage by flap. After 6 weeks, we usually go for nerve and tendon reconstruction. High voltage electric burn is devastating. Due to loss of tendon and nerve, patient ultimately ended up with non-functioning limb, and it is very much difficult to provide them the functioning limb. Very often, both the limbs are involved, and their life becomes miserable. During postoperative period, we do postoperative splinting, physiotherapy, and follow-up. Galvanic stimulation also given to prevent motor end plate degeneration. But still, most of the patient did not come for delayed nerve and tendon reconstruction. And ultimately, providing functional limb is just impossible for this patient. In case of charred limb and not responding to fasciotomy, amputation is inevitable. But to make decision of amputation is not so easy. Patients and their attendant are not readily motivated to give consent for amputation, and it's not easy for them also to lose the limb. So first we counsel the patient and their attendant with proper documentation and photography is ensured, and usually then we arrange a medical board meeting to take the decision of amputation. On the other hand, patient with complex hand injury with loss of multiple tendon and nerve ultimately ended up with non-functioning deformed hand. Initially, though they denied amputation and demand to salvage the limb by any means, but multiple reconstructive procedure, physiotherapy, splinting fails to provide a functioning limb. The limb becomes a burden for them. It's painful and non-functioning. Ultimately, it becomes a burden, so they want to get rid of it. High voltage electric burn is devastating. Very often, there is loss of the limb, and if we can salvage the limb, it becomes non-functioning. Patients are burdened not for only for themselves, but also for the family and the country. But these injuries are preventable through proper education and legislation, increasing awareness. So, effort must be given at national level to support the prevention program, management protocol, rehabilitation program for burn amputee and for their welfare. Here, my two published article on high voltage electric burn injury and amputation in Bangladesh Journal of Plastic Surgery and BCPS Journal. Thank you all for patient hearing. This picture was taken in hand surgery conference in London in 2022 with Raja Sabapati sir and Dr. Manusha Mohan from India. Thank you all.